Hello, welcome to sportingways.com. My name's Thomas Rooney. I'm joined by Joe Rooney once again. We're going to look at the Premier League weekend, look at each fixture, let's give a few thoughts on each as usual. Sort of action-packed weekend as we get to the business end of the Premier League season. We're going to start with Everton versus Fulham. This is a 3 PM kick-off on Saturday afternoon, no lunchtime kick-off this week. I'll talk about Everton to begin with. Obviously a fantastic fight back against Manchester United last time out. They fought back, United thought they had it won a couple of times, but Everton fought back and got a dramatic 4-4 draw in the end. This was a good response really, even though it was only a point to the devastating FA Cup defeat to Liverpool, because that would have hurt that day, and they kind of will now hope that they can push on and have a strong finish. They're 7th, they're 2 points ahead of their arch rivals Liverpool, so that's the main aim for the rest of the season, to stay 7th, and that'll be a decent season for them. They've got 2 away games after this, so 3 points against Fulham this weekend would be very handy indeed.
Yeah, Fulham in a great run of form at the moment. They snatched a late win against Wigan last time out, which was another good win for them. Now, unbeaten in 4 since their last loss at Old Trafford, narrow loss there. 9th in the table with 7th in their sights, and they would actually go above Everton. They're just 2 points behind them, so they go above them in 7th with a win here. So, 7th, if they do get 7th, that's a fantastic season for Martin Long and his side, isn't it? So, prediction for this one, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really pretty tight game. The two, I think, fairly evenly matched sides. Everton are probably the favourites, and I think they will nick it in the end, but Fulham will play their part in a sort of a tight game, as I say, but I think 1 goal will settle it, so I'm going for 1-0 to the home side.
Yeah, I also think a tight game. I think Fulham are going to play their part again, but home advantage I think will play a part in this one. I think it's 2-1 to Everton.
Okay, we look at Stoke versus Arsenal next, another 3 PM kick-off on Saturday afternoon in the Premier League. Talk about Stoke to begin with, and it's been a funny few weeks for them really. Their season has petered out somewhat. Tony Pulis said he didn't want it to peter out, but in fairness it kind of is, because no one's really talking about Stoke at the moment. They've had a really long season, they've done well, they've only won 1 of their last 7 games, and they're down in 14th position, and they're still not mathematically safe, but they are virtually safe. Probably 1 more win and it'll probably be mathematical this weekend. They maybe like to think they've maybe got 1 more big day in them. They've had some big games in Europe this year. They've had some good. They've beaten Tottenham at home and stuff like that. And you just wonder whether they got 1 more big win in them. And this could be against Arsenal this weekend. So we'll see about that one.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal 3rd spot has become even more crucial for them, hasn't it? At the moment, obviously, if Chelsea win the Champions League, then the 4th spot won't qualify for the competition. 3 points ahead of Newcastle, who are in 4th, but Newcastle in fantastic form and do have a game in hand over the Gunners. Dropped points in their last 2, so this is a game they're really going to be wanting to win. And just a quick word on Robin van Persie, who was PFA Player of the Year, wasn't he voted? And you have to wonder where would they be without Van Persie this season. He's been fantastic for them. So prediction for this one, Tom?
Yeah, I think I do worry about Stoke a little bit at the moment. I think they haven't got much momentum and their confidence is a bit low, and they probably have got one eye on next season. And as I say, it has been such a long season for them, which everyone keeps talking about. That's definitely going to play a part, and I think Arsenal need the win more so I think it's going to be 3-1 to the Gunners.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's just a massive game for Arsenal, and Stoke with not much to play for. I think it's going to be a comfortable 2-0 win for Arsenal.
Okay, we look at Sunderland versus Bolton next. This is another 3 PM kick-off on Saturday afternoon. Talk about Sunderland to begin with, and Sunderland have been in the middle of the table for quite some time now, sort of petering between 8th and sort of 13th, 14th. Ever since the resurgence under Martin O'Neill, which was still one of the best runs anyone's been in all season when he first took over. But form-wise at the moment is not great at all. They've not won in 5 games. They've also failed to score in their last 4, so they're missing that spark at the moment. They'd love to get it back before the end of the season, because John O'Shea he's issued a bit of a rallying cry this week, saying that they need to aim to finish as high as they can, because they don't want this season to peter out. It would really be a bit of a shame if after all their good work they actually only end up finishing 14th, 15th. That would be a big shame. So they've got 2 home games left, so this home game against Bolton is a big one for Sunderland, just to sort of push on and finish strongly.
Yeah, Bolton, I mean, what a fantastic win they had at Aston Villa on Tuesday evening. 2-1 winners in that one. And they're a team that people are going to keep looking over their shoulders at. They keep fighting, and they're just 1 point adrift of safety now, and with a game in hand it's completely in their own hands. And
absolutely
2 home games after this, so this is a game they could almost afford to lose, but they'll be going into it thinking a point would be massive in this one for them, and they're going to be full of confidence after a win on the road last time. So what are you going for this one, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be an entertaining game. We've got a feeling that Sunderland as they're in the middle of the table, in some bad form, they maybe need to go for it and get some form behind them. And Bolton, at the same time, have got some momentum and are more than capable of some goals on the road. So in the end, I think Sunderland will nick it. I've got a feeling now, once they get one goal, they might flow a little bit more. So I'm going to go for Sunderland 3, Bolton 2.
Yeah, I've gone for a different result in this one. I think Sunderland not too much to play for, and confidence not massively high, and Bolton on a decent run, but away from home is going to be tough for them. So I've gone for a 1-1 in this one.
Okay, next up we'll look at Swansea versus Wolves, another 3 p.m. kick-off on a busy Saturday afternoon in the Premier League this weekend. Talk about Swansea to begin with, and last couple of games, reasonably solid form. They got a win over Blackburn, and they drew at Bolton, which was an away point, a decent away point. They're looking to finish with a flourish as well. They've had a fantastic season, and they'd really like to push on these last few games. And in terms of the motivation for a team like Swansea, who are in the middle of the table, you wonder whether theirs might be to maybe be the highest of the promoted clubs, possibly, which basically probably means finish sort of above Norwich. But that would be a good achievement if they sort of finish the highest of the teams that came up last year. The last 2 games against Manchester United and Liverpool, so this is definitely the most winnable of their remaining games, and they'd love to get 3 points in this one just to take the pressure off going into those last 2.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves done and dusted now, relegated comfortably in the end. Kind of wonder, where does the club go from here? Just 23 points for the whole season, which is miserable for fans, and considering they won their first 2 games, I mean, it's been a shocking run of form since then, hasn't it? Next manager has got to be someone with experience of getting out of the Championship, which
you think of?
would have been Mick McCarthy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, I think under Mick McCarthy, I think they would have, no doubt they'd have been in a relegation battle, but I think
they wouldn't be down by now.
They wouldn't be down by now, no chance, I don't think. So, prediction for this one, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's going to, for some reason I've got a feeling that Wolves might actually put in a decent away performance, which would be really frustrating now that they've gone for their fans. So I actually think it's going to be a 0-0 draw, this one.
Yeah, I just think confidence is absolutely shot at Wolves at the minute, and I think Swansea, they're looking to finish the season strongly. I think it's going to be Swansea 2, Wolves 0.
Okay, next up we've got West Brom at home to Aston Villa. 3 p.m. kick-off on Saturday afternoon in the Premier League. Talk about West Brom to begin with, and fantastic win for them at Anfield last time out against Liverpool. 1-0 victory, and really special for Roy Hodgson as well, because he went back to Anfield where he didn't have the best of times, but he got a good reception from the fans, which he would have enjoyed, and then they got the 3 points, which very valuable for West Brom. They're 10th in the table at the moment, and they're 3 points from 7th place, and that's there's a few teams now whose motivation is to finish as high as possible. And West Brom, the highest they could possibly finish is 7th, probably. So that's probably what they're chasing in the last few games. They've won 3 of their last 4, so strong finish for them, and they'll want to keep that going this weekend and inflict some further misery on an Aston Villa side that is all at sea at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's desperate times at Aston Villa. There's no denying that. I mean, lots of fans have been tweeting that they deserve to go down just because they haven't been good at all this season. If they weren't involved, they definitely are now after the defeat at home to Bolton. Just 3 points clear of the bottom 3, and with the run they're in, just think, where are the points going to come from?
Absolutely.
Spurs at home and Norwich away, which are 2 very, very tough games.
Absolutely.
So you really do fear for Aston Villa, I think.
Prediction. I think I backed an Aston Villa win last week, I think, and I'm going to go for it again, just because I've got a feeling they will get out of it and get that one win they probably need, and maybe it will come this weekend in a game that maybe a lot of people are expecting them to lose. So I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 away win in this one. Yeah,
I just think West Brom, they've got a lot of confidence after that win at Anfield, and Villa are completely shot of confidence. I think it's going to be West Brom 2, Aston Villa 1.
Okay, next up we've got Wigan at home to Newcastle. It's the final 3 p.m. kick-off on Saturday afternoon in the Premier League this weekend. Talk about Wigan to begin with, and obviously they've had some fantastic results of late. They beat Arsenal, they beat Manchester United, but they slipped up at Fulham last time out, and this just shows they've still got such a lot of work to do to stay in the Premier League, because just because they beat 2 top 4 teams doesn't mean they have a right to stay in the league. Position wise, they're a point clear of the relegation zone, but Bolton below them have got a game in hand. So as we've known for quite some time now, I think it really is going to go down to the wire in terms of the battle for survival. They maybe think they could raise their game against a team like Newcastle, because they have done alright against the big teams this year, and they'd love to do that again this weekend. And then after this one, they've got Blackburn and Wolves to finish, so if they can get a point, maybe even 3 in this one, they put themselves in a really good position to stay in the Premier League without doubt.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle, 3rd is now the aim for Alan Pardew side, which is absolutely remarkable, really. Just 3 points behind Arsenal with the game in hand, and they'll really want that third spot, because fourth, as we know, might not qualify you for the Champions League, as if Chelsea were to win the competition. They've won their last 6 games, just conceding in one of them, so they are completely the form team at the moment, and you'd probably back them to go and do it again at Wigan. Prediction for this one?
Yeah, I think they will go and do it at Wigan. I don't think it will be easy, because Wigan have done alright against the big teams, as I said earlier, but in the end I think 1 goal will be enough to nick it for Newcastle, which will be a valuable 3 points for them. So I'm going for Wigan 0, Newcastle 1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really entertaining game actually. Both sides with so much still to play for, and I think they'll both play their part in a great game, and it's going to be 2-2.
Okay, next up we've got the 5:30 kick-off between Norwich and Liverpool at Carrow Road. Talk about the Canaries to begin with, and last time out, disappointing performance at Blackburn, probably one of the weaker away performances from Norwich this season, because they've got some good wins on the road this year. It's probably a bit of a classic example of Blackburn needing to win a lot more than Norwich did, but Paul Lambert won't want to use that as an excuse for the remaining few games though, because he'll want his team to finish strongly and sort of gets finished with a flourish after what's been a really good season, sort of similar to Swansea really. They might be thinking that they've got one more famous win in them, and obviously this would be a massive win for Norwich if they can get 3 points against Liverpool, so maybe they can have one more really big game in them, really big performance, sort of finish the season well. And like Swansea, kind of the motivation for Norwich could be to maybe finish above Swansea and therefore the highest of the promoted clubs. So 3 points would be very valuable for Norwich this weekend. There'd be a good atmosphere at Carrow Road, and it's a big game for Norwich without doubt.
Definitely. I mean, Liverpool again, it's their league form letting them down, isn't it? They lost at home to West Brom last time out, a game that they'll look at that they should be winning. It's their 12th loss in the Premier League this season. That's a lot. That really is a lot. And 11 on points with Fulham, and West Brom are just a point adrift of them. And with respect to those two teams, they're not teams that Liverpool are going to be wanting to compete in the league with, really. And they could be in the bottom half by kick-off, and if results don't go their way, but they really need to build momentum for the FA Cup against Chelsea. So this is a very big game for Liverpool, I think, definitely.
Okay.
Prediction for this one?
Yeah, prediction. I think I've got a feeling that Liverpool might nick it. I think they might prefer playing on the road at the moment. I've got a feeling about that, because at Anfield they've been inconsistent this year. They've drawn too many games, but I think in the end their quality will shine through, and I think they'll win 2-1.
Yeah, I think a big game for both sides, looking to finish the season strongly. I think Norwich are quite solid at home, so I've gone for 1-1.
Okay, moving on to Sunday's fixtures now. We've got a 1:30 kick-off between Chelsea and Queen's Park Rangers at Stamford Bridge. Talk about Chelsea to begin with, and what an incredible performance from them at the Nou Camp. I mean, to progress to the Champions League final after being 2-0 down on the night, they were down to 10 men, and it was an amazing match, amazing defensive performance to come back to 2-2. And it really was one of the best games you're ever likely to see, I think, at any stage, but especially the fact it was the Champions League semi-final against the holders. It was just remarkable to watch from start to finish. Their focus is now back on the league though, and this might be quite difficult, so there might be a bit of a motivation issue for Chelsea, because obviously maybe after the Lord Mayor's show or something like that, but they want some momentum to go into their 2 massive cup finals that they've got in the final stages of the season, and they've got some injuries and stuff as well, so they'll just be happy to get into this game, get the points and get out, I think.
Yeah, definitely, I think so. I mean, QPR is an excellent win over the struggling Spurs, wasn't it, last weekend? They're now a point clear of the bottom 3, but as we know, Bolton do have that all-important game in hand. They still do have a fighting chance to stay in the league. I mean, they've got a very difficult run in, probably the toughest out of the clubs fighting for relegation. 11 games now without a win on the road, and this is going to be a very, very tough task. An informed, full of confidence Chelsea side that are desperate for them points themselves. So.
Yeah, prediction. I think it's going to be a comfortable Chelsea win. I've got a feeling they're firing on all cylinders at the moment. I think they've excellent momentum, which is a word we use a lot, but they've definitely got that. Just got a feeling if they get 1 or possibly 2, then the QPR might crumble, because their away form has been very poor. So in the end, I'm going for a 4-1 home win.
Yeah, I think Chelsea are just going to have too much QPR on the day as well. I've gone for a 3-1 Chelsea win.
Okay, the 4 p.m. kick-off on Sunday afternoon is Tottenham at home to Blackburn. Talk about Tottenham to begin with, and their poor run continued with defeat at QPR last time out. It's now 1 win in the last 9 games, and they could easily finish as low as 6th now, which is just terrible, considering that at one point 3rd was nailed on for them, and they were just title chasing at one stage in the season. There's also been a bit of a worrying rumour this morning about a bit of a player revolt in terms of some senior players and sort of some squad players that just aren't happy with the preparation for the games, and they're worried if Harry Redknapp's head has been turned too much by the England job, which a lot of people predicted it would happen, and it has, because their form since Capella resigned has just been atrocious. So for morale, as much as points, they really need to win this weekend at White Hart Lane. So a massive game for Tottenham, I think, in the course of their season.
Yeah, Blackburn, huge win over Norwich last time out, absolutely massive for them. They are still 3 points adrift though at the bottom of the table, and they feel they need another couple of wins, but they've got Wigan at home and Chelsea away to come after this, so going to Tottenham, and out of form Tottenham side, this has probably got to be one of the games they've got to win. Still probably would predict them going down, but as we know this season, anything can happen. You wouldn't back against them going there and picking up all 3 points. But prediction for this one?
Yeah, I think Tottenham will get back to winning ways this time. I think it's a sort of a home game. They really do need to win, as I said. And in the end, I think they'll get the win. I think it'll be 2-0.
Yeah, I've gone for exactly the same scoreline there. Actually, I think Tottenham need the points in this one. 2-0.
Okay, next up we've got the Monday night football fixture between Manchester City and Manchester United. Without doubt the biggest game of the Premier League season so far, and it's probably title decider, many would agree. So a massive game at the Etihad Stadium. And talk about Manchester City to begin with, and after losing to Arsenal a few weeks ago, you kind of just felt like the title race was over really, because Mario Balotelli got sent off and you just felt like it was all falling apart for Roberto Mancini and his team, but that hasn't been the case at all. They win this and they go top on goal difference, and if they win their final 3 games, they win the Premier League title. So massive turnaround, all to play for in this one. And they've won their last 3, Manchester City scoring 12 along the way, and Tevez and Aguero are working really well together up front, and the Etihad Stadium will be rocking as well. This is the type of game Manchester City will be relishing, and they invested all the money they have done. They want to compete with Manchester United, and they're doing that, and if they win this game, they probably win the Premier League title. So it doesn't get much bigger for City, and it's probably the biggest game in their history, and this is the game we're all looking forward to, obviously, as well, because it's a massive game.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester United, very strange game for them on Sunday, wasn't it? I mean, a brilliant game, 4-4 against Everton, but they let a 2-goal lead slip twice, which is very, very unlike Manchester United, and they've also thrown away a comfortable lead at the top, and feel like they've let City in almost. And fair play to City with the form they've shown, but it's been United slipping up, why this is such a big game. They'll be feeling the pressure here, definitely, but it could benefit from being the away side with so much at stake. Like, the pressure is almost off an away side a little bit.
No, I agree.
And if they win this, they win the title. You'd think, they'll go 6 points clear with 2 games to play, and that's the title, I think. And this is just absolutely massive. You can't stress what an incredible game this could be. Prediction for this one, Tom?
Yeah, I think I'm boringly going to sit on the fence a little bit, because I really wanted to lean either way, but I've just got a feeling that they might cancel each other out a little bit, which obviously will suit Manchester United a lot more. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw, but a really good game, and one that could go either way, but I just think it's going to be a draw on this occasion.
Yeah, I think just with the confidence and the form of the front 2 for Manchester City, I think they're just going to sneak this one actually, and I think it's going to be 2-1 to Manchester City.